Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the Falcons and the home of the Georgia Dome. Atlanta gets set to entertain the St. Louis Rams with their 8-2 record. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, first of all, the Rams turned the ball in their 2 losses, turned the ball over 13 times, and that's just not the kind of thing you can do and win in this league, is it?
Well, unless you're the Rams. I mean, to me, they're still the best team in football, but Mike Martz said that he talked about that all week, and he doesn't worry as much about the interceptions. He kind of buys into those and said those are going to happen, but he's trying to eliminate the fumbles. He said we have to have better ball security. You know, and usually when you lose a game like they did to Tampa Bay, you take those things that you lost because of, and you don't let that happen again. For example, Mike Martz felt that he has 3 things. One, that he didn't run the ball with Marshall Faulk enough last week. That he has to run the ball to him at least 20 times today, maybe throw him 6 or 7 passes, but he has to get him more involved. He said he has to get Ricky Prohl more involved. He said there's no reason to have a great player like Ricky Prohl standing on the sideline with him. So that means more 3 and 4 wide receivers. And then they don't have a real good pass rush, and they felt that they let Tampa Bay off the hook a little Monday night. And so what they want to do is they're going to have to blitz more, because to get that pass rush, they can't get it with their 4 guys. They have to go with the blitz.
As we said earlier, the Falcons have won 3 in a row. They're back in contention. Oh, it's kind of faint hopes, but they're in contention. They're quarterbacked by Chris Chandler, who can be very dangerous.
Yeah, and you know, the whole thing is you talk with Chris Chandler, and he'll even tell you it's all about the offensive line. And I believe that if you give this guy time, he can really eat you up. So it's going to be the offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons has to do the job today. On defense, they have to go and try and get some of those turnovers.
Coming up, the surging Falcons butt heads with the Rams in an NFC West battle.
I think we got our swagger back.
Next play is the biggest play of the game. Let's get it done.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Ron Pitts here with Kurt Warner. Kurt, obviously a disappointing loss last week to Tampa Bay and the turnovers and all that. Forget about the coaches. What have the players said coming into this game? What's the attitude?
Basically, we're not trying to change our attitude. We go out and do what we do. You know, we've hit a spell where we've had some turnovers, but everybody in our offensive room has confidence in each other. We know that we're going to go out and play, and when we do our thing, that we're a tough team to beat.
As far as the passing game, what are you focusing on personally in this game?
Yeah, I'm just focused on making sure I put the ball where it needs to be. You know, not trying to force anything, not trying to make big plays when they're not there. Take what the defense is giving me. If we got a shot for a big play, take it. But be very efficient with the football. Move the football down the field, go workmanlike, and put the ball in the end zone.
Good luck, man. Pat, back up to you for kickoff.
All right. Thank you very much, Ron. Thank you, Kurt. Jeff Wilkins set to kick it off to Derek Vaughn. Wilkins kick high and a little bit short. At the 9 is Vaughn. Just outside the 20, good coverage. Jeremitrius Butler made the stop. Atlanta's offensive line: Whitfield, Hallen, Todd McClure, Forney, and Ephraim Salam. Tony Martin and Terrence Mathis, the wide receivers. Reggie Kelly, the tight end. Maurice Smith and Bob Christian, the 2 runners. Smith, nobody thought, he was undrafted, nobody thought he'd be able to do what he's done.
But how about what Bob Christian has done the last couple of weeks? They've kind of broke him loose.
2 tight ends set up. This is Maurice Smith, no gain. Maybe a yard. Let's have a look at the St. Louis defense. The front 4, there'll be a lot of changes. Wistrom, Scanina, Brian Young, and Chidi Ahanatu started off. Linebackers: Fields, Fletcher, and Tommy Polley. And the secondary: Dre Bly and Dexter McLean, Rich Cody, and Aeneas Williams. McLean playing safety after being a cornerback until now.
And this is the first game he's ever played free safety in his life.
Chandler outside to it Crumpler. Welcome to those of you who saw the New Orleans Saints squeak by Carolina 27-23. Welcome to Atlanta, where this is the first possession. The standings in the NFC West. These Rams 8-2, San Francisco 8-2, Atlanta 6-4. New Orleans now 6-5 after the win today. 3rd and 10. Chandler back to throw, steps up in the pocket, fires complete. Brian Kozlowski found a hole in the middle. If they pick up the blitz, he can cut you apart.
That's exactly it. If he can get pass protection, Chris Chandler can be something special. You see, we said the Rams, to get a pass rush, feel that they have to blitz. Chandler's able to step up right here and find Kozlowski. Kozlowski's like the 3rd tight end, but he goes in on passing situations. Anytime they use 3 wide receivers, Kozlowski is the tight end.
That's one of those guys who's got the feel for holes in the secondary.
Did you see how Chris Chandler drilled that one in there?
Boy.
That ball wasn't in the air a long time.
Chandler fakes on 1st down and throws. Picked off. Intended for Mathis. That's Dre Bly down the sideline and into the end zone. Ram touchdown.
Dre Bly, we were just talking about Dexter McLean is starting at free safety, so Dre Bly is starting at corner. Here we see the cross. Dre Bly is just playing zone. He didn't follow him across. That wasn't man-to-man. He just had the right side of the field, and he was waiting on that side. Watch him standing over there. You see it, Mathis comes into his area. Dre Bly is going back, playing zone, reading the quarterback, and watching the ball come out.
Chandler probably saw him beat the linebacker.
That's exactly what. He looked at the guy that he was running away from, but didn't look at the guy that he was running to, who was Dre Bly.
And he took it in for the Ram touchdown. They can make things happen in a hurry. 6-0 they lead. Wilkins for the extra point.
They can give turnovers and they can take us away. Here's Dre Bly here. You wonder if he got in. The ball, remember, the pylon is out of bounds.
Right.
But the ball was inside the pylon.
Those of you in St. Louis, welcome to the Dome in Atlanta. The Rams and the Falcons. The Bears came back to beat Detroit 13-10 and get their record up to 9-2.
They all have that move, don't they? They know where that pylon is, and they start about the 5-yard line now. I mean, that's an offensive move. They start about the 5-yard line, diving for the end zone to get inside that pylon. Look at that, 104 points off turnovers scored, the 2nd most in the NFL. Lovie Smith, the new defensive coordinator for the Rams, has really done an excellent job with this group. I mean, he's brought in new coaches, 8 new starters on defense, moved safeties, corner to safeties, and all those types of things, and still play well.
Vaughn at the 5 takes Wilkins' kick. Vaughn outside the 30 to the 32. There's Lovie Smith.
He came here from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he's a linebacker coach, and put in a whole new defense. They use a lot more cover too, but the big thing of Lovie Smith is everyone has to hustle. And in fact, he has a word, loaf, that if anyone doesn't hustle, the opposite of that is loafs. And the thing that a player never wants to be graded down for is a loaf.
1st and 10 at the 32 for the Falcons. Chandler has Mathis in motion. Throws. Tony Martin takes the slant. Across the 45.
Right, that was one of those zone defenses, and watch Tony Martin get in the hole of the zone right there. I mean, he gets inside the corner, and Aeneas Williams and he catches the ball before the linebacker, Tommy Polley, gets to him.
Tampa Bay in overtime again, a close one, and they play a lot of close ones, don't they? 16-13 over Cincinnati. Welcome to the Dome in Atlanta, where the Rams lead the Falcons 7-0. 56-yard touchdown return of an interception by Dre Bly. Maurice Smith and a flag on the play. That's the face mask.
You know, Maurice Smith just doesn't have his quickness. He has a bad ankle. Back in last week's game, they taped it 4 different times. Watched him in practice Friday, and he still looks like he's limping.
He looked like he was limping in practice. He looks like he's not quite as quick today as he normally would be.
Right, he's not getting to the hole quickly. And
personal foul, grasping and twisting the face mask. Number 90, defense. 15 yards, first down.
Jeff Scanina.
Jeff Scanina, the difference, there's a 5-yard face mask penalty and a 15-yard.
He's got him.
They're saying that Scanina grabbed and twisted.
And pulled.
Well, you know, Scanina, look at the arms this guy has. I mean, when he puts those arms and those hands on you, it's going to look like it's a grab and a twist, when sometimes it may just be a grab.
Just a takedown.
He's the biggest boned guy I think I've ever seen. Look at those calves and those thighs. I mean, he is a big man.
His ankles look like your waist.
Well, ankles look like someone's head. No, not my waist.
First and 10. Gets this back to Rodney Thomas. Thomas inside the Rams 30. Bucks his way to the 26. For all of you that have just joined us, here is how the Rams got ahead 7-0.
Yeah, Chris Chandler is trying to throw a cross there to Terrence Mathis. Dre Bly, the starting right corner today, was sitting over on that right side of the field in a zone, just reading Chris Chandler, read him all the way, and then the dive at the end to get the ball inside the pylon.
Rodney Thomas again, the running back, the deep back.
You can see he has a lot more quickness.
Yes, he can. Kozlowski moves up on the left side. This is Thomas again. He needs a little bit more quickness. London Fletcher. Good play.
That's the thing that this Ram defense can do is they all have speed, they all hustle, they all pursue, and they gang tackle, because that time the tackle, Bob Whitfield, pulled and made a pretty good block, and they got the outside block, they got the contained block, but then they didn't get London Fletcher block, who was the next guy coming across.
Line of scrimmage is the Ram 27, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and he's having a good year, London Fletcher is. I mean, he's one of those guys that, as they plays with a high motor.
Maurice Smith back in the game. He goes in motion left. Christian. And Tony Martin. He's hit quickly after a very short game.
You see who he was hit quickly by? It's Aeneas Williams. We were talking to Aeneas Williams last night, and he said that in this defense, he says there's a lot more hitting than he was used to at Arizona. And he said, you know, there's no guess. He said no matter what happens, when you play zone, you have to make a hit. He said if it's a run and your guy runs off and you're man-to-man, he said once he gets by the line of scrimmage, there's no excuse to keep covering. You have to run and make tackles.
Once you know he's not going to get the ball, you got to be involved.
Although I've always thought that Aeneas Williams was a very physical player anyway, but he said he's more physical now than he's ever been, because with this defense he has to.
Safety blitz coming. They pick it up pretty well. Chandler throws for Martin, incomplete.
Martin looked like he slowed up with something.
Yes, he did.
As you said, the big thing is if you give Chandler time and you give him protection, and they did give him protection. You see, he sees the hole right there. Now he just, I don't know what the heck he did. I mean, after he got by the linebacker right there, after he got by London Fletcher, he should have just sprinted and just run away from him.
Looked like he was waiting for the traffic to clear.
I think the traffic had cleared, though.
41 yards away will be Feely to try to get the Falcons on the board, and he's got plenty of legs. And it's the Rams 7, the Falcons 3 with 9:25 left to play in the first quarter. Back in Atlanta, 7-3, the Rams over the Falcons, 9:25 left in the first. Strong candidate back deep for the Rams. Feely to kick it off.
candidate, averaging 20.4. That's not very good, because if they kick it in the end zone, you get the ball in the 20-yard line. I've always felt that you start with that. If you do nothing, you get 20 yards.
Feely's kick is short. Candidate handles it at the 5. See if he gets to the 20.
The coverage wins when they don't get to the 20.
The ball didn't get to the end zone, so he didn't have a choice, but you're exactly right. 7-3 the score. Jamal Anderson, the outstanding Atlanta running back, injured both knees. One last year, one this year.
Yeah, this year was his left knee. The one a year ago was his right knee. Happened against Arizona, the 3rd game. And he was such a big part of their offense that they really had to adjust their offense since the loss to him.
Marshall Faulk gets his first carry, and he didn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage. Let's look at the St. Louis offense. Orlando Pace, Newton, McCollum, Timmerman, and Tucker. Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, the wide receivers. Ernie Conwell, the tight end. Hodgins and Marshall Faulk, who just got the carry. Quarterback by Kurt Warner. 3 wide receivers set up. Now they shift around, as the Rams do, like no one else. Nobody in the backfield.
And then a motion. They love to do that. Shift and then motion.
Warner back to throw. Ball was deflected. A flag on the play. Late and deep.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, because if the ball was deflected, then there can't be any pass interference. Yeah, the ball was deflected there, so you can have roughness, but you can't have interference. So what the call is here is they're saying unnecessary roughness against the Falcons.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 94. Defense hitting the player after the ball was incomplete. 15 yards, first down.
Called on Henry Crockett.
You're going to see him right here. See, there's Torrey Holt. Henry Crockett comes up and just hits him after the ball goes by. That's one of the things everyone wants to do against these Ram receivers, is they want to be physical. They come into this game, when they come into the middle, we have to hit them. That's a rule when you play the Rams. But you better hit them before the ball gets there, or before the whistle blows.
That's a tough call.
You know, they do try and light them up when they go in the middle.
The Falcon defense, Brooking, Travis Hall, and Shane Gronette, excuse me.
Here's Brooking. You're going to see he's going to come on a blitz. He's becoming one of the best middle linebackers in football. He's not reading this. He's just going to blitz in that A gap, and he's able to blitz and then come off. And you see what happens. Both those tackles got in there, and you know Keith Brooking was there, and then Gronette was in there, and they got that whole thing botched up before Marshall Faulk had a time to get back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 13. That's Ricky Prohl in motion.
Brooking was up on the line of scrimmage again.
Faulk to midfield. Ambrose made the stop. Let's look at the Atlanta defense now. That's the front 4. Kearney, Hall, Gronette, and Brady Smith. The linebackers. Semino starting in place of Draft, Crockett, and Keith Brooking in the middle. And the secondary, Ambrose and Buchanan, the corners, Bradford and Carty, the safeties.
And the strength of this defense is really Keith Brooking, the middle linebacker, and the 2 corners, Ashley Ambrose and Ray Buchanan. They have 2 very good corners.
Brooking is very active, and somebody moved in the Ram
76.
offensive line.
He said Orlando Pace, number 76.
Full start, 76. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, this is the thing you always worry about when you're the road team in a dome, but this doesn't look like a real noisy crowd. It doesn't sound like a real noisy crowd. And you see that, oops, he went forward that time. Usually they get in that 2-point stance and they're ready to pass protect, and they start to rock backward to get that outside rusher. Orlando Pace was going to be a running play. He was rocking forward.
They're trying to get at Brookings. A flag on the play. This time, Tom Newton, I think, moved.
And now the crowd is getting into it. Listen to him now. Now we're talking here. Earlier I did. Here's Tom Newton right here. You see him move. Again, he was just trying to get a little position there. The first one I didn't think was a noise problem. The second one, the one there on Tom Newton, could have been.
First
Listen to him now. Yeah, I mean, this crowd is, whatever it takes, it got him now.
First and 20. Warner drops the throw and fires to Hakeem as he cuts across and gets the first down.
Boy, this Kurt Warner's amazing. Like he said, he doesn't throw to a receiver. What he's going to do is he's going to throw between defenders into a window. Now, when Hakeem makes that cut right there, you see the window he threw it in? That's where he's trying to get. If we can just get this and just stop it right now, we can see here's the window that the ball is going to go in even before the receiver gets it. And the window is between the defenders, not throwing to the receiver.
Warner draws Hakeem again. 8 or 9. Ray Buchanan made the stop.
Yeah, they talk about this, the greatest show on earth, the greatest show on turf, and all those types of things. But you start on, you have Torrey Holt on one side, and you have Isaac Bruce. So you say, okay, we got to take care of that. Then they got Ernie Conwell, he's a tight end. Now they bring in Hakeem, and he's a third wide receiver. Right. So you say, well, we'll take care of that. And here comes Ricky Prohl. He's the fourth wide receiver. And then you still have to deal with Marshall Faulk. Look what happened to Marshall Faulk right there. You see him rolled up on his right leg.
He's still playing. Bruce in motion. Handoff is to Marshall Faulk. And he gets down to the 25 and crosses the 25.
We're talking about Keith Brookings and the things that he does. I mean, this is his type of game. He's just been moved to middle linebacker this year, so he's just playing on instinct. So it's not a place that he's played all his life, but just watching him, every time I watch an Atlanta Falcon tape, I see two things. I watch this guy, and he seems to be in on every play. And the other thing is, you see that his nose is always bleeding.
Yeah.
He has that old cut above, where the helmet always comes down. He said his head never fits any helmet, or the helmet never fits his head.
Warner pump fake. Going for Faulk. No. Had it, dropped it.
That's the thing about Marshall Faulk. They can split a lot of guys out. Now sometimes you see them, they'll split tight ends out, they split fullbacks out, they'll split halfbacks out, but he's a halfback that can go and split out there and run a pattern as well as a wide receiver.
For the Falcons, 35 is John Dale Carty. Comes out for a rest now. Second.
John Dale Carty doesn't have a lot of speed, so that was even though he's not a linebacker, he is a backup strong safety starting today.
Pitch back. Across the 20, that was candidate right now for a game break. Let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, take a look at how Tampa Bay pulled it off in overtime. Corey Dillon fumbled on his own 3. Tampa Bay came out and kicked the field goal immediately. 21-yarder by Martin Gramatica. Bucks improved to 6-5. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
The Buccaneers are a strange team, aren't they?
I'll tell you one thing that I've learned. I think everyone would never count them out. I mean, when they play poorly, don't say that's the end of them. Don't say that's the end of Warren Sapp. Don't say that's the end of Tony Dungy, because they are going to bounce up.
It's a Ram timeout. Back at the Dome in Atlanta, 3rd and 4 for the Rams. At the Falcon 19. You Used to play with the Jets.
Bill Mathis.
Yeah.
Old running back.
Yep.
Looks like he could block for himself now.
Yeah, he probably could. Birdman, they called him. Touchdown. Marshall Falk from Warner.
And we talked about earlier when they got Marshall Falk on a safety. That time was on a linebacker, Chris Graff. And you see Marshall Falk here come out of the backfield. This is where he's at his best. And he's just running a swing. I mean, he just runs to the outside, runs a swing pattern right up the sideline. He just gets a step on Chris Graff, and Kurt Warner just puts it right in there.
That's the kind of mismatch you're looking for. There's no way that was going to work.
No, and Chris Graff is the specialist in that area. He's the nickel linebacker. Kurt Warner says on these deep ones, he said what he tries to do is just drop it in, and he dropped that one in perfectly.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Fidelity Investments. We can help you see yourself succeeding. By Porsche, what only a Porsche brings to driving. By UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
Back in Atlanta, Wilkins to kick it off. Derek Vaughn back deep for the Falcons at the 5. Vaughn. Oh, if he could just have stayed on his feet, he was gone. Vaughn was gone.
And I think maybe Jeff Wilkins, the kicker, may have made a play. They don't make a lot of them, but that may have been one.
3:21 left in the first quarter. 14-3 St. Louis over Atlanta.
Watch that kickoff return again. Derek Vaughn is a return guy, and the first thing you want to do is get to your wedge. First thing the wedge do is they all get together, hold hands, it'll keep them together, and then you run off and break off that. Now watch, he runs right into his own guy right there, Mark Semino. So Wilkins didn't make the play originally, but watch Wilkins. No kicker, he comes around, spins around, and look what I got at the end. But then he just ran into his own guy. It was really, I mean, we give credit to Wilkins, it kind of made the tackle, but maybe we have to give some credit to Semino there. He was the guy that really slowed up Vaughn. But I think maybe Wilkins, I mean, being the next kicker, Pat, and giving him the respect that the kickers deserve, maybe Wilkins put Semino in that position.
To Vaughn's credit, he realized he could get up and run again, and he tried to.
Yeah, because the only guy that he hit was his own guy.
Chandler back to throw. Juggled. Flag on the play. Reggie Kelly, the target, the tight end, up the seam, and he got the flag.
Yeah, when you're a 14-year veteran like Chris Chandler, you do try and put the ball in some tight places because you have trust in your arm and trust in what you read and see, and that was an awfully tight place.
38 defense. First down.
Rich Cody's a strong safety. And we're going to see it come right in here, right there. You see the ball was in the air, and did you see he grabbed him with his left hand?
Grabbed his jersey,
But it's his right hand there on the back, but he grabbed him earlier with the jersey with his other hand.
17-yard penalty, first down Atlanta. There's a Ram 40. Taken down by Dre Bly.
That's a heck of a play by Dre Bly. That's when corners have to make a play. When you're in a cover 2 and you have support on that side, you have to make that tackle.
Let's go down to Ron Pitts.
Well, guys, offensive lineman Tom Newton for the Rams. He strained his left ankle. They're going in to take a look at it, to x-ray it, and he'll come back out, and I'll give you a status on that when we get one. Pat?
Okay, Ron.
Remember last week, he came out of the game with the bad ankle. Mike Marks told us last night that he thinks that Newton's ankle is fine and he'd be able to get through the whole game. Not so.
Chandler drops up the middle. Algie Crumpler
You know, one thing, Chris Chandler is getting time. That was the thing that we talked about, and I think that the Rams know that if there's any way that they can get beaten, it's Chris Chandler throwing the ball. That's how they're going to beat him, because this isn't going to be a real running team today, the Atlanta Falcons. And they're not getting a very good pass rush. I think the Atlanta Falcon line is doing a pretty good job of pass protection.
And as we've said before, if he has time, he's as good as there is.
And he needs time because he's not a mobile quarterback.
Chandler drops the throw. Here comes the blitz. From behind. Chandler's hit by Wistrom.
There's Aeneas Williams is down on that play. Here's Grant Wistrom here. He's against Bob Whitfield. Whitfield goes to the inside. No one blocks Wistrom. So Wistrom comes free. Chandler was rolling out to the right, so they kind of slid the line to the right. So the end man on the line of scrimmage away from the roll was unblocked. When you have a guy like that, like Grant Wistrom, who has that kind of speed, he is going to get to the quarterback. I think when you want to sprint away from him, especially if it's Chris Chandler, I think you have to block somehow that backside.
There goes Aeneas Williams. Feely is going to try from 50 yards out. He's 1 for 2 from this distance. Up until now. Minute 43 left in the first quarter. Snap's good. Holds good. Feely doesn't get it there. So the Rams will take over. Fox Tuesday Music's biggest stars are on Fox. It's the 2001 Billboard Music Awards, live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Don't miss the music event of the year. That's Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox.
And remember, now the Rams take over on the 41-yard line, because it's not the original line of scrimmage when you miss a field goal, but it's the point that the ball was kicked from, which is usually 7 yards deeper than the original line of scrimmage. Foul.
About 4, hit by Brady Smith.
The Falcons were talking about Marshall Faulk and how tough he is to tackle, and he said you can't look at the shoulders and the head, because he's always giving you movement with the shoulders and head, and if you start to look at that, then you're going to go for fakes. You always have to look at the belt buckle, because the only thing that he can't move is that middle of his body. So you look at that belt right there, and then you don't go for that head and shoulder type thing.
Frank Garcia has taken Tom Newton's place at left offensive guard.
Frank Garcia is the guy that had trouble on Monday night with Warren Sapp.
He really did. Warner flings it to the open spot. Isaac Bruce, the intended target, I guess, is a flag on the play.
And he really flinged it. He flinged it across his body. Watch this. He's going to get sacked right there, and that would be throwing it away, except there was a receiver out there.
Holding, 50, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Holding called against Ryan Tucker.
Yeah, Ryan Tucker is blocking against Patrick Kearney. Kearney's the leading sacker on this Falcon team. That coming into this game, Patrick Kearney has 9.5 sacks. Ryan Tucker, remember the problems he had with Michael Strahan when he played the Giants?
Well, he had a bad shoulder at that time and a broken hand.
Well, he had that cast.
Yeah. Not to make excuses for him, Strahan had a great day. Warner back to throw, steps into the pocket, he's taken down.
Yeah, one of the things that the Falcons do is they have their pass rushers. This was a great example of it. Pass rush to dots and then collapse the pocket. Now what they do is this end, the right end, will go to a point here and start to collapse. The left end comes to this point outside the quarterback, not going deeper. Now the 3 technique, because he's usually single block, will get to this point. the nose tackle, because he's usually going to be double, will get to this point. So they get here, 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 and then they collapse from those points.
Ed Jasper made the sack.
On that last play, they all got to their red dots.
Warner, screen pass to Falk. Tripped up, didn't get the first. They played it well. Derek Vaughn made the stop on Falk. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Rams 14, the Falcons 3. Fox NFL Sunday from Atlanta will continue after these messages. Keith Brooking, John Madden was saying a minute ago, his nose is always bleeding.
Yeah, well, you know, once you get that, remember when you played, once you get that cut, it's because the helmet doesn't fit properly and it comes down and cuts the nose. And I remember when I was playing, that anytime you would get it early in the season, and it would open up every game you ever played in. You had a bloody nose for 6 months every year.
Darian Gordon, 6-1 tackler. Another. But that pursuit got him at about the 27-28. I got one of those things, and you got one.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
We've stopped the bleeding, and that's good.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the reinvented Toyota Camry. Get the feeling. By Citizen Eco Drive, a revolutionary watch that never needs a battery. By cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions? We've got answers.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Rams up 14-3. More bad news for the Rams secondary. Cornerback Aeneas Williams strained a muscle in his neck. They're taking him in right now for x-rays. That means that Kim Herring, who was injured, will have to go back in the game at free safety, and Dexter McLeon, who was playing free safety, will go out to corner and play there. Sounds like a lot, Pat. Let's see what happens in their secondary.
Does sound like a lot.
Well, then there's one more thing.
Yeah.
Ray Bly, who was playing right corner for McLeon, now goes to left corner for Aeneas Williams.
Chandler gives to Maurice Smith.
It's over!
Here you're going to see right here is where Aeneas Williams got that injury. You can see it's one of those things, again, where he's diving and he gets it by his own man. His own man. And that happens quite a bit, but it's usually with defensive linemen in the offensive backfield, usually not downfield.
When you have a defense with a philosophy like this, like Lovie Smith, where everybody's pursuing the ball.
Everyone has to get to the ball, and sometimes you get your own guy.
That's Maurice Smith. Close to first down yardage, stopped by Tommy Polley.
We're talking about Dre Bly. If you watch number 32 there, that he's the guy that in this defense that he has to be the force guy. And you watch when they get a block, you see Bob Christian get on him here, and he just drives them and drives them and drives them and kind of pushes them out of bounds. So when your support guy gets pushed and knocked out of bounds, you are going to gain some yardage on that sweep.
3rd and short. Chandler drops to throw it. He's going to take off, and he's going to get the first down.
He'll slide, I'll guarantee you.
He's not going to lower the head.
No, you don't stay 14 years in this league by running and not sliding. If you give Chris Chandler a gap and a big hole like that, he will do it. Look at the defensive injuries of the Rams. Adam Archuleta, their strong safety, isn't active for this game. He has an injured ankle. Don Davis, their starting linebacker, has an injured wrist, and he's out. Kim Herring had a hit, but now he has to play. Damian Lewis is out, so they have really been hit. That Leonard Little, who's their pass rusher, isn't here.
Lewis. Amari Smith, I beg your pardon. I was thinking about Damian Lewis.
Wasn't that something about Chandler? That, you know, that's why we're talking about those red dots and the way the Falcons rush the passer, and that's staying in your lanes. Now, the Rams on defense, they like to do a lot of stunts and games and twists, and doing that, if you get picked up sometime, you will create some pretty big throwing lanes for the quarterback or running lanes for the quarterback. Chris Chandler saw it, took advantage of it 2 plays ago.
He's 5 out of 8, 2nd and 10. Chandler drops, has time, gets it to his tight end Reggie Kelly, and Kelly gets very near to a first down. Not quite there.
You know, and the Rams know this, and I think they're going to get a little frustrated defensively. Is that when you play Chris Chandler, and we talk about him not being a real mobile quarterback, but you can see that, I mean, 95.7, you know, his third down rating is great, and he can do a lot of good things, but he's not mobile, and you have to get him. You have to hit him, and you have to knock him down, and the Rams haven't been hitting him or knocking him down, and that time they didn't even get their defense straight, so they had to take a timeout.
That's their second. They only have one left. Back at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, 14-3. Chris Chandler has been hit once, hurried twice, intercepted once. That for a touchdown.
And that's a big key, only being hit once. I mean, if you're going to play Chris Chandler and you're getting, you know, in the second quarter, you better have hit him more than once, or eventually he's going to have his way with you if you don't get to him. He's great in this situation at a hard count.
They need a yard. No backs behind him. So he's got to pop and throw it. And does, and got it in there. There's a crowd around that ball.
Yeah, again, there was a bigger crowd around the ball than there was around Chris Chandler.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take off again.
And I think when you get this situation here, you have to get a crowd around the quarterback. But when he can stand there that long and you give him a gap like that to run it or throw it, he is going to get a first down. Watch him here. So this is great pass protection. They form a pocket right around here. Now Chris Chandler can step up. You see him step up in that pocket, untouched. That's like throwing skeletons 7-on-7.
Trumpler made the reception and got the Atlanta first down. Chandler fakes, drops it out on a screen pass to Christian. No place to go. Tommy Polley there read it quickly.
That was a heck of a play by Tommy Polley because he was the only guy out there. That's just, they're going to fake the ball here. They got the pull and everything. Then they're coming back to the screen. Now watch, if they get Tommy Polley, if they get Polley, that is going to be a big play. But Tommy Polley gets by the blocker, and he makes a sure tackle on Bob Christian. Bob McClure, old 62, the old center, he was out there looking for him. And Polley just ran right by him.
Waiting for him to get closer.
That's a big play. I mean, you have to be able to do that and make the tackle in the open field.
2nd and 10, Chandler drops. And drops it over to Christian. Down to the 30. A couple of yards short of the first.
Christian's been something for this team lately. You know, we knew over the years that he was a good blocker and a pretty good receiver. And last few weeks he's been making some runs. And one thing about Christian, when he catches the ball, he's going to square his shoulders and go straight upfield.
There's not going to be a lot of ducking.
No, but not a lot of sideway running in Bob Christian.
3rd and 2.
Here's where the hard count comes up. He tries to draw you off sides with that hard count.
Nobody jumped. Chandler to Martin, caught. Inside the 10. He could go out and run, couldn't he?
I don't know that anyone touched him.
I don't think so either.
It would have been interesting had he challenged that and got up and run. But again, he has time. And see what they do. They get out here like an I formation. They have the 2 receivers out there, one going medium and one going deep. Chris Chandler picks a deep one. And why? He picked a deep one because of this. He has time again.
McLean reached down and touched him.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, he had. I'm talking about Chris Chandler having the time to throw. You know, and when you give him that, it's going to be big.
Chandler, 1st and goal. Maurice Smith. Nothing doing.
I think that
Tommy Polley again. Excuse me.
No, I was just going to say, I think that ankle is really bothering Maurice Smith. But one of the things, we always talk about this red zone and how tough it is to score in this area. And it's not always all about passing and the quarterback. Sometimes the better teams in the red zone are the teams that can run the ball. Remember for years when the Dallas Cowboys were so good with Emmitt Smith? I mean, they'd get down in this situation, they'd just run the ball in.
That's how Emmitt got all those touchdowns.
And when you don't have a real strong offensive line and a great running back, it makes this red zone a lot tougher.
Never forget John Riggins. Here's Chandler. Wheels it outside to Christian, and Christian gets down to about the 2.5. Polley again with Dexter McLean.
Look at this red zone since Chris Chandler has been with the Falcons. 57.2 completions, 44 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with a 95 rating. I mean, that's pretty good throwing the ball in that area. One of those things that helped is when he had a healthy Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. And Maurice Smith, as you said, is certainly not 100%.
Yeah, and this is where he likes to go to Algie Crumpler, his rookie backup tight end.
Chandler goes over to the referee and calls a timeout. So Atlanta will have 2 left. Falcons have the ball at the 3-yard line of the Rams. Rams leading 14-3.
Chris Chandler is 6 out of 6 on this drive, but he took a timeout to go over and let Dan Reeves call this one. Now, one time, I think when they drafted Michael Vick, they thought that this would be a situation for him, but Dan Reeves doesn't want to break up Chandler's rhythm anymore by substituting Vick in and out. This is a tough. This is not a running down. This has to be a pass situation.
He starts Christian in motion. Chandler looking for someplace to go, and Chandler stopped at about the 1.
Again, on that play, when you go empty backfield, although they brought Bob Christian back into the backfield, then they ran him out again, then you have to pass the ball. Now, the fans are going to boo.
Oh, sure.
You had 3rd down and 3, and Dan Reeves knew when he called that play, if you don't get it in, you have to kick the field goal. You have to go for the field goal here.
Not much question about that.
No, I mean, you don't want to, and you hate to do it, but you have to do it. Chris Chandler came into this game with bad ribs. You can see the flak jacket he's wearing. He looked like he banged up his hand on that play.
Feely will try. Flag on the play. What that's for? Delay of game. Clock got down to 0. Just about an extra point for Feely.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty.
That'll back him up 5.
I think they took a little time there, wondering whether they should go for it on 4th down. And sometimes you're not sure. Do we go with the field goal? Do we go for it? How much is there to go? Is the ball right on the goal line? Is there going to be a challenge? Those types of things. And you waste the time. I mean, there's no way you would want to take that penalty.
It's about 24.5 yards. And Feely's kick is good. 14-6. The Rams over the Falcons. 5:35 left before halftime. .535 left before the half. 14-6. Feely set to kick it off to Trung Candidate. Onside kick. I think the Falcons got it.
Remember, all it has to do is go 10 yards. Once it goes beyond 10 yards, you can recover it. Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach here, Dan Reeves' son-in-law. Watch it right here. There is 10 yards right there.
Matt Stewart fell on it.
Well, special teams coach, always the happiest guy. Especially when you call that and your father-in-law is the head coach, you better make it good. Yeah, I was just thinking that they needed a momentum changer here, but I was thinking that the Rams would go for it by maybe going a no huddle, and then lo and behold, the Atlanta Falcons go for it by the onside kick.
The Rams have sort of an unusual kick return formation.
Yeah, they have three-man wedge, and then one of their wedge men was up. They kicked it away from him.
Maurice Smith got it around the corner that time, and a flag on the play. Tommy Polley made the stop. And he's made a lot of them so far.
Now, these are the things that will really frustrate a team like the Rams, because one of the ways to beat them is to keep their offense off the field. And with these long drives that the Falcons have, even though they just came up with a field goal, then an onside kick.
32, defense, 5 yards.
Walt Coleman.
Still first down.
The referee, Dre Bly, is guilty of the face mask, and there it is with his left hand.
Yeah, Dre Bly today started at one corner and then was moved to the other corner when Aeneas Williams got injured. He's playing Aeneas Williams' corner now. Dexter McLean started at free safety. He had to go back to his corner, and the injured Kim Herring had to come back into the game. But again, here's what it's all about. It's this group against this group. And right now, this group right here is winning. The offensive line of the Falcons, because the defensive line of the Rams isn't getting pressure on Chris Chandler.
First and about a yard. You don't get first and 1 a lot of times. Chandler doesn't see anybody coming. He did get rid of it in time to Maurice Smith.
You know, that old thing, you know, if you ever had second and short or first and short, like you say, you don't get that one a lot of time, but you want to go play fake the run, and then go for a big one. You know, try and hit them deep. But the Rams played that defense. They played a very loose defense. Did you see the linebackers were off deep? They didn't play nor react to the run at all, the Ram defense. They knew with first and short, you better expect play pass.
Sean Moran came around the corner and hit Chandler just as he got rid of the ball. Smith. Maurice Smith gallops straight ahead. Across the 40 to about the 37, 38-yard line.
There's a pretty big hole on that left side. I've always thought that Bob Whitfield, I mean, he's been playing in this league a long time. He's a 10-year veteran, but I've always thought that he was one of the better tackles in football. And that time he just kind of got Sean Moran, got him going to the inside, kept him in the inside, and turned him.
7-yard gain for Smith, 2nd and 3. Brian Young made the stop.
Brian Young had a big game. In fact, he's been having about 3 or 4 big games lately. Remember he dropped out in a zone blitz and intercepted a pass
against Tampa Bay on Monday night. He intercepted Brad Johnson.
And then did you see when he knew he was going to be tackled and he put it away?
Yep.
I think some of the Rams offensive guys can learn from Brian Young how to handle the ball. Although those offensive guys, I know they're getting frustrated now because they always want to put on a show and they can't even get on the field.
Well, this is what you have to do against this Ram team. Here's Chandler. Pass is caught to Mathis, and that'll be enough for a first down. He'll let you know about it.
He's been letting you know about it for a long time. Terrence Mathis is a 12-year veteran. And he's a move guy. He's not a speed guy.
Right.
Terrence Mathis is the guy that, you know, the Falcons use a lot of motion. They move guys around. And Mathis is the guy that motions and moves. And then he catches those shorter passes. And when you get in that situation where you need 3, 4, 5, 6 yards completion, Terrence Mathis is the guy he's usually looking for.
How about the Rams haven't run a play this quarter?
That's what I'm saying. That's frustrating. I know that they're over there. They're going to have another pregame warm-up.
Mathis again. Chandler saw the blitz coming, saw somebody jump and pull the ball down and tried to scramble a little himself. Tommy Polley He was pressured by Polley.
Yep, and Chandler will do that. He doesn't like to do that. The Falcons don't like him to do it, but he will do it, and he is frustrating this group.
Next week, it's another full day of NFL action, beginning with the undisputed champions of pregame shows, Fox NFL Sunday. Then it's a battle for the NFC West title. The 49ers take on these Rams. Plus the Redskins visit the Cardinals, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox.
What the Falcons have to do now is they have to score a touchdown, because they have that time of possession. They have all those types of things, but they just don't have the points.
Chandler, the time. That one might have been hit. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
And they're in field goal range now, but so what you want to do 3rd and 10 is you want to try and get a first down. I mean, now you don't take a shot for the end zone because you have plenty of time. You frustrated the Rams offense. You kept them off the field. And now what you want to do here is thinking in terms of getting 10-plus yards to get a first down. Then you go to work in your touchdown.
One of the things they said was we got to keep that offense off the field, and they've certainly done that.
In the second quarter.
Chandler drops. Has time, and he's going to take off and slides at the 25, and a flag on the play.
He's not close to the yellow line.
Nope.
And the Rams are getting a little frustrated. But you know, when Chris Chandler gets as far as he can go, he is going to slide.
He didn't have a first down.
No. Was 3rd down. I mean, if it's not a penalty against the Rams, then the Falcons are going to have to attempt a field goal here.
Officials.
London Fletcher's trying to get in there and get in the argument. He better watch out or they'll throw a penalty on him. They're telling him to get back, and when the officials tell you to get back, you better get back.
Well, you have a get-back coach. You need a get-back official.
Yeah, but the get-back coach is on the sideline. There's no get-back coach out in the field.
Personal foul against Atlanta.
So London Fletcher didn't have to be in there arguing.
Nope.
Now the thing that Mike Martz has to do is they didn't get the first down. So do you take the penalty and put them back, or do you let them try the field goal here?
I think you put them back. London Fletcher back in again.
I don't know that they're exactly sure what this penalty is.
Well, they've already signaled one time, a preliminary signal, that it was against Atlanta.
Yeah, and then if it were, after the play, then it could still be a 4th down. I mean, the penalty could be after the play, too. We're going to find out here.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 65 offense. After the play was over, the penalty is declined. By rule, it would be repeat a 3rd down. So St. Louis has declined it, so it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, they didn't want to give Chandler another shot of him. You're going to see the play is down, and you're going to see 65 right there. He's coming in and just trying to pick someone off the pile.
Or else he's just trying to jump over the pile. Feely, nevertheless, will try from 44 yards out. He missed from 50. He's hit twice. That was hooking and no good. So all that thing break?
Yeah, all that time and all that time of possession and all that frustration of the Ram offense didn't put any points on the board for the Falcons.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. Coming up at the half.
So really, Keenan Fournette was the guy that got that penalty, trying to pick someone off the pile. A lot of P's in that, but at the same time, it didn't affect him in any way. I mean, it's still because Chris Chandler didn't have a first down anyway, and the Rams turned down the penalty. So even if there weren't the penalty, the field goal try would have been from that same spot.
The only thing is the defensive unit got a little rest, and the Rams offense got more rest than they'd like to have. And the pass is thrown. A flag on the play. Pass to Oz Hakeem.
I see a flag and I see a shoe down there.
Yeah.
And it's usually in the area of where the linemen are playing, so that's in the area of holding, which it is.
Holding against the Rams. Jasper.
Holding, 62, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Holding called against Timmerman.
Adam Timmerman, the right guard. And we saw earlier that Tom Newton was out, and they took him into the locker room and did whatever they did to him and brought him back out. He's in the lineup now.
Warner back to throw. Going to throw a screen pass to Falk. Marshall Falk. Outside the 35. Stopped by Ronnie Bradford.
Did you see Marshall Falk get out there in the open field though and start that head and shoulder stuff?
I was thinking about that. 13 yards.
And it did affect one of the tacklers, but it didn't affect the second and third.
Quickly up. Warner throws to Oz Hakeem. Hakeem out of bounds. Stops the clock there after he gets the first down.
Watch Marshall Falk here. We're talking about moving his head and shoulders. When he starts there, you see he gets that stuff moving, gets the head moving, gets the defender just to shoot air. Didn't get Bradford though.
That can be embarrassing.
Well, you know, but that was his feet too. I mean,
yeah.
You know, he could plant on like his left foot, and his right foot is 5 yards in a different direction.
The pass is almost picked off. The Falcons had a shot at it. Ambrose. Two defensive backs collided and knocked the ball loose. They had this interception.
You know, we talk about these corners. Ashley Ambrose right there, and Ray Buchanan as being two very good corners. And you see Ashley Ambrose is going for the ball. In fact, he had the interception.
Yeah.
It looked like Bradford not only hit him and knocked it out, but put his right hand in there and tried to grab it out of there.
So it's 2nd and 10, 55 seconds left.
But you know, Torrey Holt or Isaac Bruce have yet to catch a pass.
I know. Warner back to throw and throws to Marshall Falk. And Falk is down at about the Falcon 40.
One of the things that Mike Martz says that he wanted to do, of course, is to get the ball to Marshall Falk, but he hasn't gotten it to either Torrey Holt or Isaac Bruce.
Falk swings out to the right side. Warner is caught from behind by Brady Smith, and now he takes a timeout. That's the Rams' last one.
And that's a big sack, because that sack made them take the timeout.
Don't forget, coming up on the Visa halftime report at the half, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats. Coming up at the half.
I still can't get over that interception. I mean, it looked like Ashley Ambrose had it, and Ronnie Bradford just came in there and hit him. You know, that can happen. But then
sure.
He looked like he thought that was the offensive guy, and he was trying to strip Ashley Ambrose.
Warner. Hakeem gets out of bounds. 15 seconds left. They're in field goal range now.
Yeah, and this first half has been about Kurt Warner throwing to Oz Hakeem and Marshall Falk. And again, not to Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. And Mike Martz is a coach that doesn't do that for an entire game. So when that happens, he'll probably make an adjustment, and we'll probably see quite a bit more of Holt and Bruce. Of course, you have to have the ball. And that's the other thing, is the Rams, they were frustrated by the time of possession of the Falcons.
Jeff Wilkins with 15 seconds on the clock. The Rams don't want to take a chance, so he's already in the game. Ricky Prohl holding. This is from 45 yards away. That's going to be plenty far enough. And it's no good.
Well, you know, I talked about how big that sack was because that
misses.
that made them use that timeout, and then because they didn't have a timeout, then they had to kick the field goal before they could try another play.
It's the new show everybody's been talking about, the best damn sports show, period. It's the nightly new show that features a comedian who's a diehard sports fan and a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game. The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights at 7:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. only on Fox Sports Net.
You know, this game sure hasn't gone in the first half the way you would expect, does it? I mean, Atlanta's been beating the Rams every way that you can except in the scoreboard. Rams get some opportunities and can't take advantage of them.
Missed 2 field goals. Rams have missed 1. Here is Chandler. Pass is caught by Sean Jefferson, and Chandler's down. Grabbing his left ankle.
Or left knee. We're saying how the Rams haven't got there and hit him. They did on that play.
Mr. Fletcher, Mr. Smith, heads, it's Wendy's Chicken Bacon Swiss. Tails, it's Wendy's Bacon Swiss Cheeseburger. Call in the air. Tails. Heads! Heads! No, heads! No, I mean tails!
Can't decide between Wendy's delicious new Chicken Bacon Swiss and Wendy's delicious new Bacon Swiss Cheeseburger? Each topped with hickory smoked bacon and tangy Swiss. Try them both. It's win-win.
Hey, Fry Man, over here!
Here you go.
For girls and boys, it's a fact. In every Wendy's kids meal, Grinch toys are back.
Chandler's still down. 19-yard pass completion. Let's see what happened.
And you're going to see right there, you see Brian Young is the guy that hits him, is underneath him right there.
Can't tell if it's his knee or his ankle, but it's painful. Michael Vick, the #1 draft choice, getting ready.
In fact, the guy that hits him is Jeff Scanina right there. Jeff Scanina was underneath. See, and he had his left foot caught in the carpet, and you can just see the way he was hit right there. Watch his left leg. Watch Scanina come through. See, the left foot got caught, and it didn't let the foot come out. So all the pressure had to go to the joint in the left knee. That's a tough one. To me, that's always been the biggest problem with artificial turf, is that your foot does get caught in that carpet. And look at the pain on Chris Chandler's face. And
there's no give.
And he's done a heck of a job. I mean, he has been hot today, and he's had pretty good protection for the most part. But Jeff Scanina got through on that one and hit him as that left foot was planted. And that brings in the exciting rookie Michael Vick. We met him the other day. I mean, he has a lot of life in him. I watched him practice, and he can throw and put the zip in the ball. But where he's special is where he runs. Michael Vick could be the fastest player in the NFL.
He is fast. Very muscular.
So now, anytime you have a defense, you go from Chris Chandler, who's not mobile, to Michael Vick, who's very mobile. You better change some of your plans.
2 seconds.
About the second half.
2 seconds left. Here's Vick. Roll out to his left. Lofts it down deep. Ball bounces out of bounds. Incomplete. And the clock also has run out. Chandler being helped to the bench. 14-6.
So you can see that is a serious knee injury to Chris Chandler. In the second half, we're going to see Michael Vick. I will say this, that Dan Reeves tried to play Michael Vick. He tried to get him in every game, but it took the rhythm away from Chris Chandler, so they stopped doing that.
They started it early in the year. They were going to alternate him, and it just didn't work out. 14-6, Rams.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to those of you watching St. Louis and Atlanta go at it. Atlanta, first touchdown allowed by the Falcons D in the first quarter of the season. Right now trailing the Rams 14-6 at the half. Cowboys and Redskins. Cowboys have beaten the Redskins 8 straight times. Redskins only 90 total yards offense.
Rich Gannon says, hey, we can put up some good numbers against these lowly Arizona Cardinals. It looks pretty good. Got a little clutched on the left, and then Gannon finds Brown. Tim Brown, 5-yard touchdown, 7-0. But back come the Cardinals. Thomas Jones, 5-yard touchdown, 7-all. Then Michael Pittman gains 22 yards up inside on the outside. Remember what the Seattle Seahawks did running the ball against these Raiders. Well, look out. Here it comes. And then Michael Pittman takes it in for another touchdown, 20-7. Hello, Cardinals over the Raiders.
Sean Alexander, 12th touchdown of the season, tied for the NFL lead. The Hawks on top right now. Lions go to their 11th straight loss. The Bears beat them today 13-10. Steelers improved to 9-2. Bettis and Stewart leading the way over the Vikings. Buccaneers winning in OT, improved to 6-5 over Chris's Bengals today. And the Saints put it out by 4 over the Panthers. Panthers now have lost 11 straight. First time in NFL history, 2 teams have lost 11 straight in the same season. Dolphins 6-0 at home against the Broncos, and the Patriots behind Tom Brady now 7-3 at the helm.
Peyton Manning, 16 interceptions in the league this year. 5 of those have been returned for a touchdown. Make that 6 now. As Rod Woodson picks this baby off, he'll take it back for the touchdown, and this is his 10th career return for a touchdown, a new NFL record. He's now in 8th place with 61 interceptions in his career, 1 behind Dick LeBeau, head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
And the Titans' 6th straight victory over Cleveland. Their record, they improve. And as a matter of fact, let me correct myself now. New England is now 7-5. I said 6-5. Let's go to Chris.
Your first mistake ever, Jay.
Thank you very much.
Ever. Well, you know, the Falcons' defense has been playing so well the last couple of weeks because of their ability to play man coverage on the outside. Ashley Ambrose, Ray Buchanan, great players out there. Unfortunately, when you're playing against the Rams, it's Marshall Faulk, it's Oz Hakeem. You can't cover them all.
Michael Vick probably in the second half. Atlanta has held the ball for over 20 minutes in the first half. Will this defense that's already thin wear down? Run Michael Vick all over the place, which I'm sure he will do.
No.
Some of you will be going to local news. Others will hang around like Howie to watch TB go through his scintillating highlights.
It's quite an act.
Right after this.
Without a net.
What's going on, John, Matt, Pat, Summerall? How y'all doing? Y'all call a good one today.
Michael Vick, it appears, will be the Falcon quarterback in the second half. Chris Chandler either hurt his knee or his ankle. In any case, Ron Pitts had a chance to talk with Dan Reeves, the head coach of the Falcons, on his way to the locker room at the end of the first half. Ron?
Coach, Chris Chandler obviously injured. Michael Vick will go in. How much will that change what you can do offensively and what you will do?
Well, we've got to be a little bit more simplified. We won't do quite as many things as we would with Chris, but we just got to draw on things that Mike does well. So we'll narrow it down some.
You're able to keep the time of possession down for the Rams. You guys stayed on the field, but you couldn't turn it into touchdowns. How do you do that in the second half?
Well, we missed a couple of field goals, and that hurts. You know, we got to convert those when we get them, but we got to also get it in the end zone. You can't, you know, defense, we gave up 1 touchdown defensively. The other one was an interception we gave up. So we got to just keep pounding away and hope that good things will turn for us.
Good luck second half, Coach.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. I have no idea what Dan Reeves said. Do you?
No, I didn't. My thing wasn't hooked up to Dan Reeves with Rod Pitts, but we know that Michael Vick is going to be playing, and you know that he's a different threat. And one thing I'll say, you know, going to practice Friday, that sometimes they don't let the backup quarterback get any reps with the first offense, but I would say that in Friday's practice, that Michael Vick probably took half the reps.
Looked like they just alternated plays.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Trump candidate at the 7. Cut down just outside the 20. Here are the halftime statistics. Falcons pretty much dominated in time of possession. Certainly, look at that.
That's a big thing right there. But the other big thing is the score. Is they had the ball, but all they did with it is get 2 field goals. And then in the first half, the Rams didn't throw the ball to either Torrey Holt or to Isaac Bruce.
Neither one of them caught a pass, did they?
No. I mean, they did an interesting thing this week. They made, just the other day, in fact, they made Henry Ellard, their wide receiver coach, made Ken Zampese their passing game coach.
Bruce goes in motion. A lot of finger pointing going on, and a flag on the play.
You know, they had Henry Ellard, who was just an offensive assistant.
Full start, 84, offense. The defender was not in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Ernie Conwell, the tight end. I think he was trying to say that the defensive player moved first and made him move. But as you heard Walt Coleman say, he did not get into the neutral zone. First and 15. Warner back to throw it. Up the middle to Bruce. Torrey Holt.
Yep, that's Torrey Holt's first. And we talked about Mike Martz and the things that he would talk about and the adjustments that he would make. And we know one thing, that Torrey Holt is going to have something to say about it. And so is Isaac Bruce. And they're going to tell Kurt Warner, you know, we didn't have the ball a lot, but we have some holes in there, some windows. And we have to hit those windows. And that was a perfect shot of throwing the ball in the window to Torrey Holt.
He's got to get it over the head of the middle linebacker in most occasions on a pattern like that. In that case, he got it over Brooking.
And Kurt Warner's thumb isn't back to normal yet, but he can still make those throws.
That's Isaac Bruce. And so our conversation about neither Bruce or Holt catching a pass came to an end in a hurry, didn't it?
And you know, halftime adjustments and type of things that you do. And they go in there and they make that adjustment. They come out and they throw one to Torrey Holt. Then they come right back, boom, and they throw it to Isaac Bruce in the very next play. Because those guys are the explosive guys. I mean, you know, Marshall Faulk is a great player, could be the best player in the NFL. You know, and you get the ball to Oz Hakeem, he's a third, but you got to get the ball to these two guys also.
And to Ricky Prohl. Down the sideline, it's Torrey Holt. And the pump fake got him. Torrey Holt got it into the end zone. The Rams get a quick touchdown.
That was one of the things that Kurt Warner was telling us last night. He said both of these corners will bite on the pump. That means the pump fake. So what you do with the pump is you give him a little move first. You see, Torrey Holt starts to the outside, and he gets him right there. He got Ray Buchanan right off the bat. He didn't even have to pump on that one. No. He just made him with that, you know, zigging and zagging, and he got by him, and there was no way that Ronnie Bradford, the safety, could get over there.
Almost got him all the way off his feet.
And maybe he did get him off his feet.
Wilkins' extra point is good, and it's 21-6. Again, Chris Chandler is out, and Michael Vick will quarterback the Falcons.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
The Rams 21, the Falcons 6.
Could you ever do that ice skate?
I did.
My ankles always turned in. I couldn't stay straight up when I did it.
I was no ace.
But you could do it.
I could do it.
I couldn't.
I wasn't headed for the Olympics anytime soon, but Vaughn wrapped up by Wilkins.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Over here we're going to see Kurt Warner, and here we're going to see Torrey Holt. Now as we look back, Kurt Warner, watch him right. See him make that pump. That's what they're trying to do to Ray Buchanan. Get him to jump on that pump fake. Of course, I think Torrey Holt just kind of ran him over there, and then he gets 2 or 3 steps on him, and Kurt Warner just dropped that ball right in there to Torrey Holt. As I said, Ronnie Bradford, the safety, didn't get over because that pump could have held him, too.
Michael Vick might have taken too long. Flag on the play.
Remember, they started out this season and they were going to give Michael Vick a series here and a series there.
65, offense.
And they're going to use him close down to the goal line in the red zone. and he was going to be able to run the option play.
Yeah, and Dan Reeves said that didn't help because it wasn't good for Michael Vick's rhythm, nor was it good for Chris Chandler's. Both Chris Chandler and Michael Vick agreed with that. Although I'll tell you, if you do get close to the goal line, I know that they have some very interesting plays that Michael Vick would run that Chris Chandler doesn't run. I guess they say that Chris Chandler's injury was an ankle rather than a knee.
Left ankle.
Was that left foot getting planted in the ground?
1st and 15. Vick back to throw it. Throws a strike to Tony Martin.
He does throw strikes.
He does. Let's go down to Ron Pitts.
Pat, I talked to Mike Martz at halftime. He said the whole problem with the offense for the Rams is that we haven't been able to get enough possessions. They only had 3 possessions there before the half ended. They scored on the 4th one, so I guess the rhythm is back. He was complaining about getting back in rhythm. As far as Chris Chandler is concerned, you guys were just talking about that. He does have a sprained left ankle, believe it or not. It's just a sprained left ankle. He was walking around in the locker room. They retaped him. He's going to come back out and try it. I'll keep you updated on that. Pat?
Thank you, Ron. Not if Michael Vick keeps throwing it like that, he won't be back.
Well, that is good news, though, because you know that looked bad. I mean, that looked like a knee to me, and you know he's had problems in that area before. But I mean, I don't know if an ankle is better than a knee. I would always think so. I mean, if they said you can either have an ankle or a knee, I would always take the ankle. And the fact that he's walking around and they're taping it up, I think, are some pretty good signs, because they do have X-ray facilities at all the stadiums now, so they did X-ray that, and the X-ray had to be negative if they're taking it up.
2nd and 8. Here's Vick.
You know, we saw him out here earlier with Jack Burns as the quarterback coach. And look at the play that they were working.
Yeah, a little option.
Yeah, Jack Burns, the old coach, running the option, and Michael Vick, you know, getting ready for that. So you know that somewhere in here, you know, especially if the Falcons get closer to the goal line, we probably will see some type of option with Michael Vick.
They say Michael Vick doesn't lift weights, but he does something.
He does a lot of push-ups and something, and when he does do it, Jack Burns won't be in there either.
He throws. A bad pass was there for Mathis. Kind of high, but he should have had it.
Michael Vick, they say, is pretty cool. You know, in one game he came in and he had a chapstick in his helmet, and he was in the huddle between plays. Oh, that went right through his hand. Yeah. You say, you know, you have to. I mean, it's obvious that you do have to catch those, and you know, you can't use that excuse to the left-handed spin, because he's been there all year now. They've been catching a lot of football from Michael Vick.
The Falcons are going to down it inside the 5 and about the 2. Elijah Williams got down underneath it and was able to knock it backwards. Tried to catch it over his head. 11:34 left in the 3rd quarter. The Falcons down it there. Back in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. Pat Summerall to John Madden. Keith Brooking.
Yeah, he's fire everywhere. That's the way to do it. That's what you need in a middle linebacker. That's what middle linebackers are all about. In fact, Keith Brooking has a dog named Butkus.
His idol, not the dog, Dick Butkus.
You're a middle linebacker. That's not a bad idol.
Warner just does get rid of it before he's hit, intended for Ernie Conwell.
This is what Kurt Warner did in the first half, or up to date. You can see that his right, he got his big plays to the right. Most of his early stuff was kind of in the middle here, and he's only completed 1 pass for 20 yards on the left side. So most of them have been around the line of scrimmage, short. Then if he's going to go deep or for the big one, he's looking to the right side of the field.
Again, he drops in the end zone. Incomplete. Good play. Flag on the play. Maybe not so good. Isaac Bruce, the intended target.
Yeah, I think the latter, not so good. Yep, it is the latter. That was a big thing, and Dan Reeves knows that. You had him backed up.
33, defense.
33 is
Ambrose.
Ashley Ambrose. He's on Isaac Bruce there. You see, he's trying to beat him to the spot. Ooh, I don't know about that.
Play.
Oh, yeah, you got to let him do that. I mean, he's going back there, and he's reading that slant. And Dan Reeves is pointing up to him in the board that there's no way that that should have been pass interference. And I agree with Dan Reeves.
Marshall Falk to the 19. Matt Stewart made the stop.
And we talked about things that Mike Martz wanted to do and run Marshall Falk more today, you know, and stay with the running. Sometimes these coaches that call their own plays or offensive coordinators, they get enamored with the pass, and once they start passing, they have a tough time getting back to the run. But I think Mike Martz today is making a conscious effort of staying with or getting back to the run.
Second. This is Falk again, who breaks it into the secondary, gets the first down, and is taken out of bounds finally by Ray Buchanan.
And Torrey Holt is out there to congratulate him. Had he made a block, he may have even been a bigger run. Good block there by Timmerman. You see, he's the guy that makes the thing. Now Holt is out there. If he blocks a couple of those guys instead of getting out of the way, Falk may have had something. But I don't know. There's 5 black jerseys right there, too. Talking about Marshall Falk, the number of times he touched it. He's run it 7 times today and caught 4. What they were trying to do is his goal was to run it 20 times and catch 6 or 7.
Well, he's well on the way of reaching that goal. Brooking showed blitz in the middle. This is Isaac Bruce. Bruce crosses midfield, and that's another Ram first down for a game break. Let's go to James Brown, Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, after trailing 20-7 to the Cardinals, you know there was an impassioned play at halftime by John Gruden as the Raiders capitalized on a 12-play, 51-yard drive. Zach Crockett, 1 yard for the score. Oakland trailing by 6. Back to Pat Summerall, John Madden.
And we're back at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. First down Rams. 21-yard pickup, Warner to Bruce.
It is. They got the 3 wide receivers out to that side.
They're back. Buy some time. And down he goes in the hands of Patrick Kearney.
And Kearney came into this game with 9.5 sacks, and he's going to get another one right there. But that was just a pretty good coverage here.
Yep.
That's the right side. See, this is what he's looking for. He's rolling out to this side. He has a short guy, but oops. He was trying to go to the middle guy. I think it didn't have time. And then he comes back. You see him run back here. Now he's looking at this side. Well, when he starts to scramble, everyone has to start to scramble with him.
Second and 14 after the sack.
And that was about defensive line play. I mean, they had him stopped when he went to his right. Then they had him contained and stopped when he ran back to his left.
This is a Ram timeout, so they'll have 2 remaining. 8:45 left in the third. (21-6) St. Louis over Atlanta. Aeneas Williams is back on the sideline behind the Ram bench. Looks like he'll be back in the game.
It all depends on where his helmet is.
Yep.
That's what I've always learned. When you see a guy, if he has his helmet with him, then he's probably going to be back in the game. If he doesn't have a helmet with him, he's probably not going to be back in the game.
Sometimes when a guy wants to go back, they'll hide the helmet.
That's the concussion rule.
Yep. Flag on the play.
That's the old deal. When a guy would have a concussion, you tell him he couldn't play. Make sure he didn't just run in there. You'd hide his helmet.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Orlando Pace.
Over the years, I coached guys, though, that you'd hide their helmet and they'd still run in there. You must have played with guys like that, didn't you?
I think, unfortunately, I did.
Would play hat or no hat. I think this Keith Brooking is the type of guy that
might play with no hat.
He has that bloody nose and that whole thing going. I think he's a guy that would play without a hat. I think London Fletcher would, too. I think both middle linebackers in this game would.
Ball drags Brooking. And let's go down to Ron Pitts.
Guys, a quick update on Chris Chandler. He tried to walk around with that ankle tape It wasn't working. Then they said, let's get it x-rayed. No matter how you look at it, they say he's done for the day. From here on, it's Michael Vick's game. Pat?
Thank you, Ron. You can see the pain after Chris Chandler went down. Here's Warner. Bruce on the move, and Warner standing in the pocket and firing. Caught by Isaac Bruce.
See the difference in this passing game of the Rams when they get Holt and Bruce involved in it. Then they still have Oz Hakeem. One of the guys that Mike Barnes was saying last night that he wanted to get more involved was Ricky Prohl, and he hasn't done that yet. And Ricky Prohl's been in the game. We see him going out now, but he hasn't thrown the ball to him. Mike Barnes said that Ricky Prohl is too good a player to be standing next to me in the sideline.
And he has been for a long time. He's a very, very bright player.
And he's over the years has made some big plays for this Ram team.
From Canada hits the right side and picks up a few.
Get a good block by Tom Newton. That's one of the things. The Rams are a very good trapping team. I mean, they have big guards, but where the off guard pulls and leads and traps defensive lineman, and Tom Newton just made a good trap block on that play. Tom Newton has a bad ankle. He left, they took him and did something to him and brought him out and put him in the lineup again.
Falk and Prohl back in the game now. Here's Warner. Prohl inside the 10.
There's a Prohl we were just talking about, but does that Kurt Warner get rid of the ball quickly? I mean, here's just the way that he hits these guys. We talk about putting the ball on a guy. The thing that he does is you watch all these catches and the way he throws it, none of these receivers break stride. I mean, that was a big thing years ago that Joe Montana did. I mean, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice were maybe the best ever, but I think Kurt Warner, with all his receivers, the way he puts that ball on them in perfect stride.
He has tremendous confidence in his own ability to put it right where he wants to. Touchdown, right where he wanted to. Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk, you put him in the backfield and he looks like a great tailback. You split him out and he looks like a great receiver. Here he is out here. He's just going to run a slant pattern or a post pattern in there. And how do you throw the ball in there when you see all that stuff happen? I mean, you see a black jersey in your face, you see a black jersey in the right of him, you see a black jersey in the left of him, and you throw it right between those black jerseys to Marshall Faulk.
Wilkins for the extra point.
But Marshall Faulk does look like a wide receiver when he gets out there, doesn't he? He doesn't look like a running back split out. Watch this. He finds a window, and he puts it right in that window. That was a skinny window.
Yep. Not open very wide.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By DirecTV, the #1 satellite entertainment provider. By Best Buy, give the gifts they really want. Best Buy, this holiday, turn on the fun. And by Burger King, home of the Whopper.
That doesn't quite look like Atlanta, does it?
No, what is that you do with those things? You try and run and not let the water hit you?
I guess.
I think that's it. You kind of play like water tag. That was a different type of kick.
Yeah, and a different type of return, too.
Anytime a number 63 returns the kickoff, that is different.
Roberto Garza. Fox Tuesday. Music's biggest stars are on Fox. It's the 2001 Billboard Music Awards live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Don't miss the music event of the year. That's Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. Michael Vick, the quarterback. Maurice Smith, the lone setback for a game break. James Brown in Los Angeles.
After only 90 total yards in the first half, Pat, the Redskins 3 consecutive times on 1st and goal to stop Tony Banks on a keeper. Finally scores and we're all tied in Washington at 7. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
About that Washington team. Lose 5, win 5.
Yep, that's kind of the way this league is, though, isn't it? You know, it's topsy-turvy. It's all those types of things. By the way, we have Commissioner Paul Tagliabue is at the game today, and it's always nice to see the commissioner at the games.
Came by before the game for a visit. Vick hits Mathis. Rams lead it 28-6, 5:25 left in the third quarter.
Watch Michael Vick here now. Again, a left-handed quarterback is going to throw more to the left than to the right. I mean, it's more of a natural thing. I mean, he will throw in the middle and he will throw to the right, but that looked like a perfect throw there to Mathis.
17-yard pickup. Falcon first down. Vick. Smith.
You know, one of the things that Dan Reeves was talking about Michael Vick, and I know exactly what he's talking about. He only played 2 years in college, and he said it's a mental part. It's knowing, you know, you can read it, you can study it. He said it's kind of like you take a class in high school, you take Spanish, and then you know Spanish, and you can, como está usted, and then you go to Spain and you have no idea what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
He said, Michael Vick in the classroom is like Spanish in the classroom. He said you get in the game, it's like being in Spain.
Vick has that wristband with a list of the plays. And it took a long time.
I think they're going to call that on Michael Vick.
Yeah,
he started to move before the ball came.
Or took too much time.
Prior to the snap, ball start.
He started
7,
too soon.
offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, he did. I saw that up here, that he started to pull out before the snap. In fact, you can watch him right here. See him start to pull out right there. He moved, and then he knew that he pulled out. He pulled out on 1, and the ball was going to be snapped on 2, so he had to wait until it got to 2. In the middle of his pullout.
He had a great career in college, brief but great. I think his record was like 20-2 or something like that. Straight ahead is Christian.
And he threw in college. He threw for 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he ran for 16 touchdowns. So, I mean, that old double threat, run or pass. I mean, he ran for about as many touchdowns as he threw for.
He really got the speed. He can fly.
And the Ram defense knows that too. And they had one kind of plan, for Chris Chandler, which would be the total opposite plan that you'd have to have for Michael Vick.
3rd and 7. If they don't get the heat on him, we might see a chance to watch it run right here. Throws incomplete.
And he got hit by Chidi Ahana just as he threw it. And the Rams are doing an interesting thing. They're spying. What they're doing is they're going to drop a lineman out. You see Brian Young right there?
Yep.
He's going to stop and wait and then just let 3 rush. Of that 3, there was Chidi Ahana.
This is very nearly intercepted.
Now watch Young there. You see he's just going to back out. And he's just spying on Michael Vick for the run.
Oz Hakeem signals fair catch and makes it at about the 16-yard line. X-rays results are in of Chris Chandler, and they were negative, nothing broken.
Well, I think the good news first, that it wasn't a knee, that it was an ankle.
Yep.
And then the second good news is that it's a negative X-ray.
There's Commissioner Paul Tagliabue.
Yep, as we said, it's nice to see him. And I think with all this topsy-turvy and teams you think are going to win, not winning, teams you think are bad, the Washington Redskins, like you brought up, I think the commissioner likes that. I think the fans like that.
Fall weaves his way over the right side for about 6.
And I will say the commissioner's done a good job, I think, with that whole September 11th thing. And he did the right thing by canceling. And then they have a makeup game. I think, negotiating to get the Super Bowl a week later in New Orleans with the car dealers. I mean, those are all things you wonder, how the heck do you get that done? But he did, and you have to respect that.
And those are the things you don't think about when you consider becoming a commissioner.
Or if you were the commissioner, you wouldn't want to have to do.
Yeah. Warner firing deep, incomplete. Torrey Holt.
Well, Torrey Holt was wide open.
Yeah.
Look at this. In the Rams' first 4 games, they had 6 turnovers, 11 takeaways. Then in their last 6 games, they had 26 turnovers, 12 takeaways. So the ratio was -14. But today, no turnovers and 1 takeaway. I mean, today, again, their thing's been time of possession where they didn't have the ball enough in that first half to do a lot of things. But once they get it, man, they can really light you up. Starting to get into a rhythm and a flow with their offense.
Warner back to throw. Lays it outside to Ricky Prohl. Prohl cuts back middle of the field to midfield. At the 50 by Chuck Wiley.
And that's the type of thing that they do. We say that, they have to get the ball to Torrey Holt. They have Isaac Bruce on the other side. Oz Hakeem comes in as a third. Ricky Prohl comes in as a fourth. You see him. He was right there in the slot in the left. He just runs it out. Now, don't run out of bounds. You see, when you get up against the sideline, I swear, if you will cut back, you'll always pick up another 10 yards. And, I mean, there's so many guys now in football, running backs, wide receivers, that get up against the sideline and just run out of bounds. And if you cut back, there's always something good there. Most of the time.
12 years. Trump candidate's the deep back, and he gets the carry. Flag on the play as the Falcons defenses converge on Trump candidate.
This is going to be, when the referee calls it, it's going to be a holding penalty against the offense.
Holding, 84, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Ernie Conwell.
He watches the tight end and the right tackle on that side. So when he calls that, that's going to be his penalty. There's Henry Ellard. We're just talking about him. He'd been the offensive assistant, and this week Mike Martz made him the wide receiver coach. Ken Zampese, who was a wide receiver coach, he made him the passing game coach.
This guy, Henry Ellard, nobody ran patterns better than he did.
No, he was a possession receiver. He played for 16 years in the league as a wide receiver, and anytime that you're a possession receiver and you've played for 16 years, you've taken a heck of a lot of hits. But I think that Henry has the respect of the receivers on this team, and he's ready to be the receiver coach.
His candidate looking for a place to go, can't find it, and he lost a couple.
And Mike Martz said, I mean, it's, sometimes you do those things after a loss, but he was saying that, it was something he wanted to do at the end of the season anyway. And instead of waiting until the end of the season, he decided just the other day, why, if I'm going to do that and move Henry to become the wide receiver coach, why don't I do it right now? So he did it just a couple of days ago.
Just watching him put the card over his mouth when he calls plays, some of the teams felt that their opponents were taping the games. Of course, they do tape the games, but tape just the coach and slow it down so they could read the lips and see what play he was calling. So that's why he's covering things up when he makes a call.
And I found that stuff never worked. I mean, that's the old thing, where you do it in baseball and you say curveball, curveball, and the guy sticks a fastball in your ear. You never listen again. And, I mean, as a coach, I had some of those things. We got this signal, we got that signal, and you get burned once in your life. You never look again.
You ever have guys? Did you ever hire guys to spy on practices and up in the buildings and on top and all that sort of thing?
You can't talk about things.
Oh, okay.
You've done in the past. There was a different subject.
No.
The commissioner's here. That may be retroactive to some of the stuff I did. Probably throw me out of the league.
Well, neither one of us are with a clean closet. Falk standing in one place and spinning, and
I'll tell you, he is something, Marshall Falk. He decided that he wasn't quick enough and that he didn't want the pressure on his joints, so he's lost 8 pounds. He was 216 pounds, and he went down to to 208 pounds. And he said, you know, that he said it's going to hurt maybe his blocking and some of the inside running, but he wants it for his speed and quickness and moves and those types of things.
And to run patterns with, and he's certainly done that.
I don't know what you do, though. I mean, this is just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost 8 pounds. How do you do that?
That's the end of the third quarter with the score of the Rams 28, the Falcons 6. Fox NFL Sunday from Atlanta will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Back at the Dome in Atlanta, one more quarter. St. Louis leading Atlanta 28-6. Pat Summerall with John Madden.
You can see the Rams, if they could get the ball, they could do some damage. And you look at them here in the third quarter, they've had 10 first downs to 2. And the big thing for the Rams, I think, is their offense is so good that if they don't turn it over, they're going to get their points in a game.
Darian Gordon back deep for Atlanta. Says get away from it. Rams going to let it bounce, and it goes inside the 20, about the 18.
Look at all those guys go, oh, don't do that. Because if it does hit a Falcon, then the Rams could recover.
Sure.
So the thing that you always do, if you're the kicking team, you always want to get around it the way the Rams were. But if you're the receiving team, you want to stay away. There's Commissioner Paul Tagliabue.
I just got word from him. He just called, and he would like you to document some of that stuff we were talking about what you did as a coach. Did you spy on anybody?
No, he's not worried about that anymore.
Yes,
he's going to eat his pie. No, he can't be.
He just called.
But if he called, he can't be too worried about it because he went to get a piece of pie.
Well, he wants some documentation is what he said to me. I don't know.
Well, he either wants documentation or dessert, and I just saw him choose dessert.
Here's Vic. A little high, and
Dan Reeves, who does a heck of a job. I mean, Dan Reeves, you know, when he was an assistant with Tom Landry at Dallas, when he was head coach at Denver, when he was a head coach with the Giants, and head coach here of the Atlanta Falcons. Remember, just a few years ago, took this team to the Super Bowl. And to me, he's always been, you know, I mean, he's just a real guy. I mean, he's a real coach. And kind of, when you think of what an NFL pro football coach is, I think Dan Reeves is that guy.
Well, he lives it.
And he has a tough go of it here. I mean, there's not a lot of support in this group.
Vic is going to take off. He's got the speed. I hope he's tough enough.
But remember Aaron Brooks, the New Orleans Saints quarterback, he's Michael Vick's cousin.
Yeah.
And he said they talk all the time. We were talking to Aaron Brooks a couple of weeks ago, and he said when Michael Vick came up here, he said, you know what I can't believe is the speed.
Yeah.
He said, I could run. He said, but most of the guys could run as fast as I can. And, you know, in college and high school, he was able to just get out and just run away from everyone. And he can't run away from them now. And then there's a whole bunch of them getting there, and they're usually in a pretty bad mood when they get to you in this league.
3rd and 2.
This is empty. They're probably doing that so he can run the ball.
Christian comes back behind him now. Vic throws up the middle. Pass complete to Terrence Mathis, who's their possession guy. That should be enough for an Atlanta first down. Vic was hit after he threw.
You know, I know one thing, talking about, you know, anything that would be retroactive that I've done with the commissioner. You know, not last week, but Jim Mora just a couple weeks ago was saying that the officiating, there's Scanina again in there. Scanina was the guy that hit Chris Chandler and knocked him out of the game with that ankle. Oops, they didn't blow the whistle. That's a referee's fault.
Brian Young slung Vic down.
Yeah, because the referee didn't blow the whistle.
Right.
He has to get in and blow the whistle and stop that play.
Let's go!
They didn't call anything either.
No. And no whistle, as you said.
No, and the center, what happened is the center snapped the ball early, I think.
Vic sets the throw. Throws to Mark. complete. He gets out of bounds, stops the clock. First down, Falcons. 12:39 left in the fourth quarter.
You know, Vic can zip that ball, and he can, you know, zip those outs and comebacks, and he can zip those outs and comebacks better to his left. Like I say, he's with this Ram defense now. They're going to give him a lot of different looks, and he's in Spain.
First and 10. Pump fake. Lofts it deep for Martin. Incomplete.
Now, here's a difference between a 14-year veteran and a rookie. Chandler goes feet first, although they don't all stop. Michael Vick goes head first. You'll learn. There'll be a day.
He'll go feet first.
Yeah. No matter how long you play this game or how fast you are, eventually it's going to get to you that you have to go feet first when the run is at its end. Although I don't know that Steve Young of the 49ers, I don't know that he ever learned that.
He never looked comfortable sliding.
Oh, he looked ugly.
Yeah.
He couldn't slide.
Here's Vick. Gets away from one tackler and another. Ducks his head, and that's where he'll learn again.
Yep, he went head first again. He knew he had to do something. You know, at the end of the run, the quarterback knows to end this thing, I have to do something. Now he knows when he gets to this point right here, as he runs away, that he has to do something. He's not sure what it is, but it's not duck forward.
That's sort of a half get down.
Slide, yeah, it's a get down, and you're in half a hunker.
Third and 1.
But you want your feet to go first.
Very few things you can do well in a half a hunker.
But he is a flashy kid, though. I mean, I remember watching him in college. I really liked this kid.
Maurice Smith.
Now Dan Reeves has one right here. Maurice Smith didn't get the first down. So you're down 28-6.
Got to go for it now.
Fourth quarter, he has to go for it. He also covers his mouth.
He thinks somebody's spying on him. He knows you're here.
Dan Reeves is covering up and calling a good one. You would think, or you would expect, but the defense probably expects too that this would include a Michael Vick run.
Some kind of an option or straight ahead?
No, I would think some kind of an option. Get to the perimeter. Like this.
Got the first down, flag on the play. Vick ducked under.
He's still doing it head first. He's gonna do it head first for a few years. Oh no, that's going to be against the Falcons there. Dan Reeves had his call. He knew what he wanted to do. He did get Michael Vick to the outside.
Did get his first down.
Did get his first
Holding,
down.
70, offense, 10-yard penalty.
Whitfield.
Still fourth down.
And now, you know, we're fourth down. Here's Whitfield right here, number 70. Yep, there's the hold right there.
Yep.
He did it.
He got him.
Yep. And maybe if he didn't do it, maybe Vick wouldn't have gotten the first down.
That was skinny that he had in his grasp.
That's a lot of guy. Yeah, when you got a handful of Scanina, you have a handful of a lot of stuff.
4th and 11, and the Falcons are going to go for it from here.
And this is that other 4th and 1 that was made for Michael Vick. This one, not so much.
This one, he'll execute from the shotgun. Here's Vick. Chased down from behind, close to a first down.
And remember, that was 4th down, so it has to be a first down.
Yep. Very close.
It is a first down. This is the thing. You want to stay in your lanes. You see, and the Rams get out of their lanes. You see, and then when you get out of your pass rush lanes, then you give Michael Vick a big lane to either run or throw in. They did that to Chandler, too, and Chandler took advantage of it. You would think when Vick, that they would be, especially on 4th and long, they would have been in a more controlled rush.
They're going to challenge. The challenge flag has come out from the Rams sideline.
Yeah, they can challenge the spot.
I'm sure.
Mike Martz has a smile to go with his challenge.
forward progress spot.
You're going to see here that Michael Vick has to get to the yellow line. You can just watch here. You see again how they're flying all over the place, and they give him that lane. He makes a good move there. Now it's where the ball is. His knees didn't go down, and he looks like he got over the line. I think that was a pretty good spot.
But that line's not official. It's very close, but it's not official.
But if you look, he had to get over that line. You see, if you look at the line on the field, and right now he's at the 46-yard line is where they spotted it. So where he has to get is beyond that line right there. You see, that's where they spotted the ball, and that's where the ball is. You see, and they put the ball right on the spot where the ball hit the ground. And it's right on that hash mark. If you look now where the football is, they left the football right where Michael Vick left it.
And it's going to be, if it's left where it's left,
right on the hash mark.
It's
going
to
be the ball
be
hit right there in the hash mark.
It's going to be a first down by about a half a ball.
Right, because they already declared it a first down. Yep. So now this would have to change it. One of those indisputable evidence type of things.
Dan Reeves thinks he's got it.
He has
he's already calling the play.
Right, as a play caller, you always have to think in advance.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The runner was down at the first down mark. St. Louis will be charged a timeout.
Yeah, that was a good call because you could see, I mean, the ball hit right on the hash mark where he had to go, and that's exactly where they marked it. Michael Vick is kind of fun to watch.
Yes, he is.
He's going to be something. He has a different type of delivery, though. You know, I don't know if they're going to
the ball around.
Yeah, he kind of turns it, flaps his wrist back and does some different types of things. But with his ability to run and his ability to throw and do all the type of things, and he has that bright look, and you know, bounce in his walk, and I think he's going to be something special.
Well, you're going to have to change your defensive philosophy. That's one thing.
And you better stay in your pass rush lanes, as he just showed the Rams right here.
Vick back to throw it. Caught from behind by Rich Cody, who came off the corner, the safety man.
That was one of the things that Lovie Smith, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, said that they had to do. They didn't feel they did it enough against the Buccaneers, is to blitz. That time they bring the strong safety up. You see Cody right here. He comes from that back side. Smith was there to block him. He just didn't get it done. In fact, Dan Reeves was telling us that that's the problem. Here it is right here. And you see Maurice Smith there. That's not very much of an effort. But if you're going to be back there, you have to block a guy. It has to be better than that. Jailbreak.
Vick gets it around and out and takes off. Michael Vick out of bounds at the Ram 30.
Tommy Polley is thinking, what the heck happened? Tommy Polley broke through and had him, and then Vick just runs away from him. Watch number 52. This is Tommy Polley here. He's going to come in there. He's free. He's unblocked. He has him right there. And Vick, we talk about how fast he is. He has a little strength, too.
Yes,
he ran right out of Tommy Polley. Then he starts to make the move. And now, you know, first thing you want to learn is maybe go feet first. Second thing, as a quarterback, when you do get to that sideline, you do get the first down, then go out of bounds.
First and 10 at the Ram 30. Vick drops. Here comes the blitz again. He throws the middle screen, which the Rams had played perfectly. Wait a second. That's Tommy Polley. And I haven't seen any flags or heard any whistles or said anybody said he's down. Not yet.
I don't see anyone waving their arms. I do see one official standing back here at the 35-yard line. In fact, he's calling him back. He's not the referee, though. There's one official who was standing here at the 35 and saying, come on back. But then he's running on down.
Here comes the extra point team, but here's that official.
It's this official right here. He was the guy that was calling him back. He's saying one thing, he's saying another thing. And he's the one that has to make the choice.
Walt Coleman looked at him rather quizzically, like, are you sure? What are you talking about?
Well, then he's asking both of them if they're sure, because one saw something. One, he saw him down. The other official didn't see him down. But if he blew the whistle when he saw him down, then that play has to stay there.
Running on the field is an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass is the ruling on the field. Let's see if the Rams challenge this one. They just used the challenge. And
I think the one official challenged all the rest of the officials.
I think so too.
On that one, but I mean, if he blows the whistle, oh, that's complete there, ripped out. I think Kozlowski had it. I don't know that that was an incomplete pass. Looks like he has it there.
Control.
And he was bringing it.
There's the ball. No, the ball's underneath him. I don't think he did have it.
Well, he had it in his hands.
Yes, he did.
And then when he started to bring it to him, it went underneath him. So I would say that.
There's the ball on the ground.
I don't know. That's
close.
That's a close one, but it's not going to be challenged.
2nd and 10. Vick has time this time for Mathis. Juggled and incomplete. Aeneas Williams.
And we saw Aeneas Williams earlier. They took him off. He's having a heck of a year.
Yes,
I mean, he was a good player at Arizona with the Cardinals for years, and now he's coming here where he gets a chance to win and being a top team and all these teams. I think he's probably enjoying this year as much as any of these Rams. That's the way you stay with. They always tell the corner receiver, stay with the ball, stay with the ball. Aeneas Williams stayed with that ball.
Here's Vick. Bounces it out. Intended for Mathis. Incomplete.
Vick is something that the only thing that he does is we look here under pressure. He's been sacked once, hit 3 times, hurried 5 times, hasn't been intercepted. But throwing the ball is the only thing he does left-handed. That he's really a right-hander, and he throws a football left-handed, and it's the only thing he does left-handed. In fact, he was drafted in baseball. I think Colorado Rockies drafted him, and he didn't play in college. Mustard on it. That was the 4th down there. He's looking over there. There's no 5th down here. You got to go to the sideline now.
As a defensive lineman, though, a guy like him can really wear you out. Tis the season.
The ho ho ho. No, it's a little too early for that. I know the day after Thanksgiving you start the trees, the ho ho ho, but I mean you have to save your ho ho hos, or you run out of them by December 25th.
Not in my house. For a game break, let's go to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, let's take a look at how Oakland has battled its way back into this game against Arizona. Gannon, his favorite target, Tim Brown. Look at that one-handed grab, 2nd of the day for Brown. Now Oakland's within 2 in the 4th. Quincy Carter tossing his first touchdown for the Cowboys. This one's a Rocket Ismail, 64 yards. Dallas on top of Washington by 10. Take it back to Pat and John.
How about them Cowboys?
But those Redskins, they win 5 straight, and then they run into a juggernaut like the Cowboys. That's what the commissioner likes. He'll have another piece of pie.
Or he likes some documentation, one of the two. Or he'll balk the ball carrier.
It's something in the first half we were talking how they didn't get the ball to Isaac Bruce or Torrey Holt, and then in the second half they did. And I think that really got this offense of the Rams back in rhythm, because Bruce, the second half, has caught 3 for 47 yards, and Holt has caught 2 for 66 yards and a touchdown. And I think when the Rams are really at their best offensively is when they're using all their guys.
Yep.
They say they got all these weapons, but when you do have all those weapons, to really be effective, you have to use all those weapons.
But they have so many, it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, and then they started off with Marshall Faulk and Oz Hakeem.
Warner gets to Marshall Faulk. Touchdown.
That 8 pounds that he lost got him in the end zone. He lined up as a wide receiver on that play. And
that's twice he's done that.
Right, and we're saying how, he can line up in the backfield and run patterns, and a lot of guys can do that. But Marshall Faulk can line up as a wide receiver and catch a ball as good as any wide receiver and run better than most wide receivers.
Amazing. 65 yards.
That's Kurt Warner. He knows right here that he has Marshall Faulk on that slant, and he just hit him perfect. Now, watch how he sets up that. I mean, he sets up the defender. He sets up his block. He gives a couple of moves. And then, again, I don't know that ball was inside the pylon, though.
They signal touchdown, and they're going to kick the extra point, so yes, it is. I don't know if the ball was inside the pylon. I agree with you, but
yeah, the pylon is out of bounds, so if the ball goes outside the pylon, then the ball is out of bounds.
Wilkins' extra point is good. Marshall Faulk and the St. Louis Rams take a commanding lead. .6:19 left, 35-6 Rams over the Falcons. Line drive kickoff, handled by one of the up men, Algic Crumpler, who the Falcons think is really going to be a good player. Brother played, his father played, and they think he's going to be good. .35-6 St. Louis over Atlanta. Some Rams fans have made the trek to Atlanta.
Even brought their helmets.
Yep. Michael Vick is the Atlanta quarterback.
Look at this, St. Louis yards per play, 10.1.
That's over a first down per play.
That's some offense, and this isn't one of their better days.
No, it isn't.
We've seen this Ram offense a lot sharper than it is today.
Vick. Back across to his tight end, Reggie Kelly, who's knocked out of bounds after he makes the catch.
Yeah, I think Kurt Warner, well, I know Kurt Warner's thumb is still not healthy. He got that hurt in that first game against the Eagles, and last night when we talked to him, he still has a bandage on it where the thumb is bandaged and then around the wrist to keep the swelling down. He said he had a cortisone shot in it, and and that made it better. He said he didn't realize how bad it felt until he got the cortisone shot.
He never will quite go all the way and say it's 100%.
No, it's not. I mean, he said it's his strength. He doesn't have all the strength in his thumb.
Dave Johnson is the quarterback, not Michael Vick. I thought it was Vick, and then I saw him throw him right-handed, and I thought, wait a minute.
Well, Michael Vick is coming in right now.
Yeah.
Johnson is another quarterback that the Falcons like.
Very much.
Yeah, I mean, and he's watching him in practice. He's pretty good too.
Now it's Vick. Fumble all the way out of bounds as he's chased by London Fletcher. He thought he could get away from London, but boy, these guys, like he says, they're all fast.
And he's down before the ball comes out, so that's going to be a sack right there. He tries to straight arm London Fletcher. Then as he's going down, he tries to get the ball out of there, but he was ruled down by contact.
Doug Johnson comes back in.
You remember we did a game once when Dan Reeves was coaching at Denver, and John Elway was out. He had 2 young quarterbacks, and he rotated them every other play. This is what he's doing with Doug Johnson and Michael Vick.
This is Doug Johnson, and he is hammered. The ball is loose. That's Tyoka Jackson. Touchdown. That was sort of delayed.
Yep,
but the whistle didn't blow.
Nope, and the referee was down there all the way with him. He ran all the way, and he signaled touchdown. So this is one that is going to be a touchdown. Remember last time they had one of these, and they said that he was down. Tyoka Jackson, you're going to see they're on a stunt. He's coming from the outside. He makes the hit. He makes the hit on Doug Johnson, and somehow, as he goes down to strip him in the tackling motion, he just gets the ball right out of there.
Yep.
Watch him. Watch Doug Johnson go back here, and watch 97 Tyoka Jackson just takes it right out. He's going to tackle him, and as he does, he goes to tackle him. He just brings him down.
Looks like he should be down by contact.
If Bob Whitfield, number 70, touched him, he is down by contact. Again, they can review that if they didn't call it. If they call down by contact, that's not reviewable. If they didn't call down by contact, it is reviewable.
Atlanta's challenging the ruling on the field that it is a fumble.
No, it's a fumble. I mean, that's a wrong thing to challenge. It's definitely a fumble, but was he down by contact?
Right.
I mean, there's no way that this cannot be a fumble.
Has the ball, now he's down.
Yeah.
And down because of contact, or with contact, with Whitfield.
And so that they may see that in the challenge, but the fact that it's a fumble, there was no passing motion. It was nothing. It was just a tackle. But see, his arm isn't going forward.
It's going to be the Rams' ball, whether it's a touchdown.
He just took it right. I mean, that's a fumble. It's a recovery by Tyoka Jackson, but he was touched by Bob Whitfield. Those eyes are the eyes of a guy who's just had a fumble taken away from him and been pantsed. So what they'll probably do is it'll be Rams' ball. As you say, it's definitely the Rams' ball.
Walt Coleman over a further look. Tyoka Jackson.
We're talking about this. Remember how this is something that Dan Reeves tried to do earlier with Michael Vick and Chris Chandler, and it didn't work with Chandler. But then we remember back to Denver, we did a game. In fact, I think it was against the Dallas Cowboys, wasn't it?
Yep.
And where every other play he rotated his quarterback because he felt with all the verbiage you have in a play, it was easier just to tell the quarterback to play and let him go in.
After reviewing the play, it is a fumble, recovery by St. Louis. However, the runner was down by contact, so it will be 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Atlanta will not be charged a timeout. Please put 4:58 on the clock, please.
So it's going to be the Rams' ball, like we said.
Right where Bob Whitfield hit Tyoka Jackson or contacted him. Tyoka Jackson is probably pleased, not pleased that he didn't get the touchdown, but he's probably pleased that he's been called a runner.
Jamie Martin will be the new Ram quarterback now.
I think this is something, there's a pretty smart thing by Mike Martz here to get, because Kurt Warner, is banged up, and they're coming off a short week. They played Monday night, and then they come here and they play on the road, and you have your lead. Everything is under control. You're not going to lose this game, so it's a good time to get Kurt Warner out of there.
Those quarterbacks, by the way, when Reeves was coaching Denver, and alternated quarterbacks were Sean Moore, remember him?
Yeah.
And Tommy Maddox.
Yeah, Tommy Maddox, the old UCLA quarterback.
Right. From Canada.
Kurt Warner has played pretty well against the Falcons.
I'd say that's
points per game, 39.4 yards, 412, touchdowns 24. They've outscored Atlanta 197-75.
He has reason to smile.
So there may be parity in the league, but there's not a lot of parity between the St. Louis Rams and the Atlanta Falcons.
Did you ask him one day how he shaves? He doesn't.
Yeah, he shaves with a mustache shave.
Yeah.
And that's why it always looks like he needs a shave, because he shaves to make himself look that way.
Candidate the ball carrier down to 20 or thereabouts.
Falcons looking on there. 6-4. I think they're going to come out of this 6-5, and I was surprised a lot of people, but they play the Rams now, and they still have to play the Rams again. And I mean, no matter how you balance this, they're not competitive with the Rams. And
certainly not without Chris Chandler. With all due respect to the two young quarterbacks, he's got the best chances with him.
Right, and if the Rams don't have turnovers. I mean, as I said earlier, I don't think the Rams played their best offensive football. There's a late flag coming out here now. And, they weren't in rhythm last Monday night. I don't think they still have their real rhythm.
We had seen them when they were just devastating.
Yeah, and they're not there, but they're going to be 9-2, which is as good or better than anyone else in the National Football League. And to me, I think right now they're the best team in the league.
The Bears are 9-2. Pittsburgh is 9-2. San Francisco plays later today.
Yeah, they play Buffalo tonight, so they could very well be 9-2.
Then they play the Rams next week in St. Louis. The 49ers do. We'll be there.
Right. And that's going to be a good one, because we did the first round in San Francisco, and the 49ers gave the Rams all they could handle.
Rams won by what, 4 points?
Yeah.
Walt Coleman.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 60, offense, 15-yard penalty, still third down. He is disqualified from the game.
Rod Jones.
Like he just got in the game.
Yeah, and now he's disqualified.
He was probably standing over there in the sideline all day. There's Jim Hannafin, the old line coach, talking to him. So what in the heck's going on? I just put you in the game. You go in there for a play or two and you get thrown out. The heck's the deal with that?
He's got to leave and go to the locker room. He can't stay there.
Oh, Rod Jones, he does fill that uniform out, though, doesn't he?
Yep.
And you're right. Once they get thrown out, or as they call it, ejected, he can't stay there in the sidelines.
He's not too upset about it, is he?
No. Of course, when you're ahead 35-6 and there's 3 minutes to go,
plus you can use all the hot water you need.
You'll be the first one to get it. Yeah, he doesn't care, but he wants. They just put him in.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he probably thinks that he didn't do anything. Here it is, right here. We see what he's thrown out of the game for. You just see it, and it was after the pile, so it's going to come up later. Watch him right there. Oh, he's trying to choke the guy.
Yeah.
He got the elbow inside his face mask.
Serious about
He got him pinned. 1, 2, 3. What? That's what he was saying. Heck, I got a pin on that guy.
You got a pin and a vacation to the locker room.
And hot water. The first of the hot water.
Yeah.
He's been on television more than he's ever been in his life.
Got a good smile.
He's kind of walking off there like he's proud of himself. Rod Jones.
4th and 18.
Goes in one play and gets thrown out.
It gets a lot of TV time.
Yeah, gets followed all the way out. Got more TV time than the turkey did on Thanksgiving.
Hannafin got some TV time, too.
Jim Hannafin, the line coach, used to be the head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. We've known him for years. Need Super Bowl tickets.
We got a room. I guess we got a room, don't we?
Yeah.
Not together.
Yeah.
Not together.
No, they've got a room. They don't care about a room.
I thought they were going to swap us a room for tickets.
No. They got a room. In other words, we don't have to get them a room.
Yeah.
They just want tickets, but they didn't talk about transportation. I mean, they got the room, then they probably want tickets and transportation.
They can stay with you.
No. Not so fast. Not so fast. That's a line driver.
Yep. Into the end zone. Come out to the 20. A little soccer move there on the sideline.
Well, Jeff Robinson.
35-6.
Make sure it stays out.
Saturn is working to keep our economy strong. In jobs, in commerce, and in spirit. As part of that effort,
This is week 12. Those are the NFC's best records, and the teams, the top 6, are the ones, if it was over today, that would be in the playoffs.
Yeah, St. Louis, Chicago, and Philadelphia would be division winners. The wild card teams would be San Francisco. They would host a wild card. The other 2 wild cards would be Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, of course, with that group would have the tiebreaker.
Rodney Thomas is the ball carrier. Clock running just over 2 minutes left. 35-6. The Rams over the Falcons. 2 minutes. So things are starting to take a little bit of shape. 2 minutes to go. Here's Rod Thomas. And here comes more flags. A minute 48.
You know, this type of game is probably pretty good for the Rams, coming off a tough physical game and a tough loss on Monday night, then having a short week and having to travel and getting out of here relatively healthy.
84 offense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Sean Jefferson.
And getting out of here relatively healthy with a win. Yep, this one took place all the way out here. I mean, it started on the right side of the field and it ends up outside the left hash mark. You wonder why a guy throws a punch at a helmet.
You're not going to hurt anybody. All you got to do is hurt your own hand.
And you know, Sean Jefferson's upset now and
he's been
probably frustrated. Yeah, I mean, he's an 11-year veteran.
Yeah.
And that's something you wonder why he did it. And probably, you know, there's a fine line between being a competitor and then going overboard. And sometimes you want to win so bad and compete so bad that you do things that don't make a lot of sense.
Dick to Rodney Thomas. You know, if you just take your time and look, there are a lot of things that you like to look at, some things you don't. But look at this action. Just instill the pain on.
That's real pain there.
An intimate conversation. Michael Vick, London Fletcher.
Well, that first shot there at Keith Brooking, he looked like a middle linebacker. In fact, he looked like Chuck Bednarik is who he looked like.
Vick throws to Martin.
He can. I mean, he's probably a couple of years away. I mean, he only played 2 years of college, but the thing is, being able to throw it, you can see that he can throw it, and you know that he can run it. He just has to put it all together.
I can see as time passes, although he's not quite as big, him being a quarterback like McNabb in Philadelphia, something like that.
Yeah, or like Steve Young. I mean, you know, because Steve Young, well, McNabb has the same thing, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are quarterbacks that can scramble, and there are quarterbacks that can run, and then there are quarterbacks that can run fast. And McNabb is one of those guys. Steve Young was one of those guys. Michael Vick is one of those guys. And there's a guy who looks like Chuck Bednarik.
Was he tough? Is he tough? Christian from Vick steps it out of bounds. 1:05 left.
Chuck Bednarik was the last of the real two-way players. I mean, there are other guys that play a little offense and a little defense. Chuck played middle linebacker and center on the championship Philadelphia Eagles in 1960. And that guy looks like a young Chuck Bednarik. I like him. I mean, he's played all his life in Georgia.
Yeah.
Played high school here in the state, went to Georgia Tech, and then was drafted in the first round by the Atlanta Falcons. So
he's the first Georgia native ever drafted in the first round by the Falcons.
Well, when you watch a Falcons tape, and we've seen a lot of their tapes, Keith Brooking is always in the middle of things.
Here's Vick. Head over heels, and he's hurt.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that we talked about, going head first. He did a somersault that time.
Yeah.
I think it was heels over head. I think when your head goes first and your heels come over. Now, is it head over heels or heels over head? It's heels over head.
Now it is.
Yeah. His head was down and the heels went right over him.
Landed on his head.
Yeah, went right into the turf.
Doug Johnson replaces Vick.
Well, the other thing that doesn't work with Vick is his straight arms probably aren't as effective.
That's probably right.
In college.
Thomas gets the carry. The clock still running. 20 seconds left. This one's in the W column for the Rams. 35-6.
Bill Kolar there, the old defensive line coach that used to coach for the Atlanta Falcons last year, now has the same job with the Rams. Dan Raves, Mike Martz.
This one's over. 35-6. The Rams over Atlanta. Let's go now to Kenny Albert and Tim Green for the finale of that one.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Rams and the Falcons. St. Louis now 9-2.